Our next matchup from these King of Battle Qualifier replays is going to be between the blue Protoss on the bottom left-hand side, Hurricane, and the red Terran on the top right-hand side, Maru, as we go into game one of this best of three. Maru has obviously been a hot topic lately, and he's been playing him. It's very rare we get to cast so much Maru. Like, it really is so rare we get to cast so much Maru, but here we are. Cast him in Gold Series Team Championship. Obviously, he played in this King of Battles event from the qualifiers and so on. So, yeah, we're getting a bunch of Maru games this week for the YouTube. And, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget you hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the like button on the video as well if you do end up liking the cast today. It goes a long way and it helps out a whole bunch. All right, so Barracks coming down to get us started. Game one of this best of three. And... well, out on the map, Hurricane has got a probe that's going to move out through the bottom side. So probe going to be coming along and, yeah, just having a little bit of a scout out and around. Now, I was talking about this with Hurricane recently, where it's like, you never know what to really expect from Hurricane. Always a dark horse, because you know you can take down some of the best players. You know you can put up a good fight. But then, do you ever really see Hurricane? Like, Hurricane's not this consistent, like, top dog Korean who's in everything doing extremely well all the time, right? So, like, he can absolutely take down people, but, yeah, for me, he's, like, a complete enigma, like, in the Korean scene, because he just shows up every now and again, takes down some names, then goes into hiding. You see him in the early rounds getting knocked out, and then he comes back and he goes, like, finals of a Kung Fu Cup or something. It's like, whoa, what, Hurricane? How'd you do that? It's like a magic trick. SCV down into the back of the natural. That's going to be seeing the warp gate starting up. It's an attempt to build this bunker. Maru likes to do this a lot, but when it gets seen so quickly, this adept should be able to just stop it from happening. The only problematic part of this is the Reaper showing up. Might be able to obviously cause some issues. This SCV has actually been able to have a great time. Now the Reaper's going to get one probe. This is actually really bad. I think this bunker finishes. SCV takes 3 shots to die. The problem is with losing the SCVs, then you can't repair the bunker at all, as the Reaper makes the most of the main base being empty of defense and finds a second probe kill. Will now find a third probe kill overall, and now gets the Reaper into that bunker to regenerate and obviously just deny mining on the natural. What a startup for Maru. That's ideal. See, this is what's so annoying. This Reaper can target fire down any of those probes which come into mind. In this scenario, I don't think you need the shield battery because the SCV has such little HP. It's very difficult to repair like you might usually try to. And he's doing his absolute best here. He actually ends up with the Adept kill. Wow, that's actually amazing. Adept kill, and the Reaper gets out of there alive again. As the Reaper will hop back up into the main base. Stalker comes through, going to put some damage out. The Reaper taking a couple of shots here. The probe's pulled. Twilight Council goes down and is seen. So Maru getting all the information right now. We're following this Reaper, but it's been the story of this early game. It's had a fantastic time. Scouting, probe kills, adept kill. Very few Reapers do as much as that. Back on the way from Maru, just going to be seeing this Hellion about to pop out. A couple Hellions now, a couple of Marines all joined up together. Going to see an extra Rax on the way from Maru. And yeah, just going to see Blink on the way up from Hurricane as well. So again, Blink on the Twilight Council, Robo Facility on the Natural. Blink still coming up as a hallucination. Goes out up to the top right-hand side. Hallucination comes around. Factory going to move across. Obviously, Blink is on the way up still. Robo Facility coming in and just going to be seeing our +1 attack upgrade coming through too. Here comes that Hellion drop into the main. 3 Hellions, no shield battery. You know, the problem is one shield battery here does so much. The Hellions get a probe stack. 8 probes. That could have been so much worse. Look how many probes are basically one-hittable at the end here. 7. So he was like 1 or 2 more Hellion shots away from being 15 probes down. Shield battery is so good in that scenario because then it forces the 3 Hellions to all commit at the same time. They all have to fire at the exact same moment. And if they don't fire in the exact same moment, then the probes just get healed back up by the shield battery, right? So a little bit of a shame to miss out on that one. Maru getting into a pretty good spot here early in the game, guys. Not going to lie about it. It's looking pretty great if you're cheering on the Terran player from Jin. He's having a pretty fantastic get going. Get going, startup. that was not a set of words that were meant to go together. I'm not going to lie. All right, Marine heading down the bottom side. The Stalker warping in from Hurricane. And a couple of Stalkers out into the center. The Stalker going to blink forward. Marine in a bit of trouble. A couple more Stalkers coming through. And just going to see this Marine gets picked off. Hallucination into the main base gets taken down as well. Maru just going to sit tight up here with everything coming into play. I mean, we're talking about a stem combat shield push in the next minute or so that is looking deadly with how much Maru's been able to do early. That Reaper was extremely annoying. The Hellions did good damage. I mean, we see a Disruptor out from Hurricane, and honestly, I don't even disagree. You know, because the reality is the Disruptor is like a bit of a Hail Mary play with the Warp Prism speed as well. I think it gives you a chance that a lot of other units wouldn't give you in this game. Let's see what this Disruptor can do. Is it's going to unload? It's going to fire. Maru is going to see the Disruptor. He's going to straight up kill it. Didn't even have Stim. Stim? Okay, Stim and Combat Shield said 0 seconds there instead of completed. That was a little bit awkward. Alright, well, a couple of tanks got lifted up. The bio army of Maru is still pulling down. He's going to siege the tanks, and the Stalkers will blink back. Tanks will continue to run down to the bottom side. That's sort of one more Stalker already, and still moving down. We're going to be having a couple of, a pylon and an extra shield battery coming in. Bio comes in. You're going to see these units getting cleared out. Tanks are in good range to fire there. The Stalker's taking a bit of damage, and well, Bio sets up on the bottom side of this. Nexus taking some damage. A Stalker gets picked off. A couple probes have already fallen, and now this Nexus looks as though it could just go all the way down. It's gone. Maru just has the numbers right now, guys. Interference Matrix on the Disruptor. No, he just says, Hurricane, no you don't. Nuh-uh. No you don't. You don't get to do that, buddy. Nuh-uh. Maru takes game number 1 in 8 minutes, and looked pretty good in doing so, in all honesty. GG's, Maru goes up 1-0. Into game number 2 in the bottom left-hand side. Down a map is our blue Protoss player. This is Hurricane, as he takes on the red Terran in the top right-hand side. This is going to be Maru. Let's see, a little bit of discussion here early. I don't speak Korean, so I can't tell you what they said. Yeah, they talk a few words. Don't think it seems anything too important or anything. As you go into game number 2, obviously, again, this is from the King of Battles Qualifiers. So a $30,000 event that was run by Alpha X. And, yeah, here we go with it. As this Rax goes down into the main base already, so gets that started up. Obviously not really expecting anything too crazy. We'll keep an eye on if Maru wants to build that bunker behind a mineral line. Much larger map already, though, right? I mean, this is Jagannatha. This is a huge map. It's a big one to play. As you have Rax going to be completed in just a few moments. Gateway from Hurricane is going to be done in just a couple of seconds, and the SCV will continue down through the center. Nexus on the natural expansion. I'm just going to be seeing all of this continue set up. Orbital command coming in, and SCV is going to make its way to see what's going on. Sometimes I feel like we should call SCVs SCVC, because they get to see what's happening, and then that's why everyone mutes the channel and no one actually watches me. Cool. Yeah, cool. So SCV gets in, pro builds and pylon at the front, and we do have our command center coming up. Very standard from start to finish here. Again, long map, and it means that, you know, advantages, tank pushes, those kind of things that the Terrans really, you know, kind of play into a lot. Those don't really get to come into play as much here. Oh god, this SCV position's annoying, isn't it? Basically, it fully walls with the Nexus here and this mineral patch, so you can actually go right, and then you can't be hit. Hurricane says, I'm done dealing with this nonsense. He just builds the shield battery. He's like, I'm done. I can't deal with this. In fairness, Hurricane's been a bit greedy. He didn't go an Adept early. He went Stalker. And so the Stalker shows up now, but that means that this Reaper is already here, and he's actually going to start putting some damage onto the shield battery. I like the choice of going for the shield battery, because if you can get the kill on a battery, that works pretty well for you. SCV will jump back into the bunker. I like this. Obviously, this is where the micro continues for a while. Oh, takes a hit. Ooh, jumps in there, though. And this battery might actually go down. Honestly, killing the battery has future uses as well, right? Because if you kill the battery right now, you also put yourself in a position where later in the game, there might not be a battery on this natural, and you might be able to get more done. Or you force the rebuild on another battery, salvage the bunker, get out of there, SCV goes down. And once again, Maru's bunker play finds more damage than expected. More damage than expected. But we got a translation from the chat. Maru said, why isn't there a countdown? And Hurricane says, you're right, was there an error? So, actually, I know why this is as well. Because when one observer, this is funny, because the whole point of adding the countdown into the game was to make it so that if someone was on a long load-in or something, basically you still got a bit of a pre-warning before the game started, rather than having to be waiting and waiting and waiting. But because but sometimes when the observer lags and it takes a long time for the observer to finish up the, you know, when the load screen goes too long because someone's loading for a long time or lagging, the countdown actually gets skipped. So that's actually kind of funny, because I totally get that, and I obviously just didn't notice there was no countdown. Even the replays have countdowns. I just obviously didn't notice in the moment. But yeah, it makes sense, because obviously Maru said 3, 2, 1. And I was wondering what he could have been talking about with 3, 2, 1. That's why I was trying to think about the possibilities, but that one didn't pop in my head. You know, the clues were out in front of me. I could have looked real smart. Just wasn't able to put it together. All right. Thank you so much for the translation out in the chat. Pikachu Namu, thank you so much. Yeah, so nothing, like I said, at the end of the day, like I said, nothing exciting. I even had an answer to their question. I just can't speak Korean to let them know. All right, well. There was a couple of Phoenix coming through. That's the entire point of the Stargate play. You got 4 Phoenix on the map already. Into the Forge, into the Twilight. And it's going to be charged and +1 armor. And that makes sense. You know, you're playing Phoenix. You don't really need Blink Stalkers for map control, mobility, drop defense as much. And obviously that puts you into a pretty swell position then to have the charge lots on the ground. That helps you out against a lot of the attacks that come early in the game. So Hurricane playing a setup that should keep him very safe early, as that's just a straight up lift on the Cyclone, and that's a dead Viking, and this might be a dead Cyclone. I used a lot of lifts there. That was like 3 lifts. Doesn't quite get the kill in the end. As the Phoenix took a little bit of a beating, obviously still alive, and we'll use some of that energy now to pick off SCVs on the side of this. So shutting down a few SCVs, denying mining into that refinery. Command Center will start to morph into an orbital in this main base, and just going to be seeing the rest of these Phoenix from Hurricane heading down into the center of the map. Now going to move around to the right side and gain maybe an idea, or getting an idea of what's going on here. Temple Archives already coming in. These few extra gateways being added in too. Do Protoss even have a way to answer the bunker? Yeah, you build an Adept. Like, as long as you scout the bunker coming up, it's very difficult to actually get the bunker up then as the Terran player, but if you go Stalker before Adept, it's just straight up worse against it, because it takes longer to get the Stalker out, etc. You don't build the Stalker right away like you do in Adept. You know, in this scenario, it was just worst case situation for Hurricane, and that's why Maru probably took advantage of it. Like, the bunker behind the natural is something we see a lot of, and you know, sometimes it goes up. At the end of the day as well, it's not like it's something which is always a massive problem either. Like, even if it goes up, it's a mild advantage usually. It's just Maru in this series has been able to use it to like a huge advantage, like way more than what you'd usually expect. Phoenix back away from the top and starting to move back down the left-hand side. A couple of SCVs get lifted. A few Marines of Maru around the top as well. Cyclone gets a lock on as these Marines come in, and it's actually some pretty decent damage. Phoenix able to shoot down a Raven, but wow, that's 3 Phoenix dead. The auto turret, I mean, the Raven goes down fighting. The auto turret helps a lot. So you get 5 SCVs and a Raven, but your Phoenix count is basically now non-existent. Maru with a scan across the map, he hasn't been able to get across for information, so he just checks on the third base setup. It is there. It is starting to mine. Maru's actually up 12 workers, though, and that's amazing. TvP up in workers. I mean, with mules on your side as well, you're obviously living the dream. Maru's realizing this army's here. He's just going to start setting up. Whoa, this last engineering bay. Okay, he gets the wall up. Well, what about on this side, though, Maru? Now he's going to wall himself in. These engineering bays should probably cancel. He's starting to realize what he needs to do. Yeah, he's going to cancel. Now he's going to build engineering base here. But, okay, what about your natural, Maru? Yeah, I mean, I like the ideas, but then there seems to be some flaws to it. He nearly killed Narcon before this fight began. It's still alive, though, as SCVs continue to drop their natural, just completely gutted of units. These extra few Zealots are going to go a long way to helping out, and he's going to get on top of everything here, so Hurricane going to clean up. In the natural, we do see Maru surviving at least. The third has to lift off and evacuate, but Maru goes down by 14 workers, and Hurricane's attack is good. Maru just wasn't able to quite make that work, man. There was an Archon that was super low HP the entire time, and then the Zealots coming in as reinforcements from the other side were just... They showed up at the right time to just keep alive all of the important units. Now, this isn't done just yet. Maru's still kiting back, and there's still a way he can hold on to this. He still has all 3 CCs. And he's only, I say only, but he's only down 16 workers. You know, if he gets to 10, you know, okay, well, now he's going to be down a lot more. I mean, being down 10-ish workers is fine because you've got triple mule. And he is going to kill off, like, every tech unit here. He's going to get the Prism. He doesn't target, he gets the Immortal instead. Obviously just says he can fight the Zealots anyway if they do finish. Oh my god, the Prism nearly went down right there. Would have been a few extra kills. Medevac going to go boosting. Would love to catch it. Doesn't quite just yet. Maru coming out the front. Orbital going to come and land. Storm still on its way out. +1 and Blink coming in as well. And Maru going to keep his momentum out down to the bottom side. Hurricane maybe just needed to back off there. Maybe didn't need to attack into the natural. Maybe could have just backed off, waited a little while, and then just be happy with the denial of the third base. And it's not like Hurricane was badly set up, right? He was on his way to Storm and Blink behind it. I want to talk about +2 because he does have +2 armor, which means he's already on decent upgrades as well. Don't think he needed to go in as aggressively as he did on the follow-up to that. And Maru, I mean, I can understand why it felt like Maru didn't really have anything, but hey, it's freaking Maru. He'll make the most out of very little. And that's exactly what he did to stay active in this game. And right now, he's doing it again as he finds himself 15 probes in this natural. Fighting those Zealots for a while too. Stalkers warp in. He's going to escape up the left. Blink will not be in time to shut down any of these medevacs. Maybe you could Blink chase, but that's very risky because if anything unloads and just sims into you, those Stalkers are going to be abandoned, stuck, and living their worst lives. Now, Maru's even going to set up a Widowmine drop, which obviously makes a lot of sense. Just something else to kind of put pressure on the Protoss player after an attack like this. Deny some mining, maybe clean out an entire mineral line. It's your way of being active on the map as well with very low commitment, while you build back up into a bit extra bio units. So I like that. Viking's going to find the Prism too. He's like, Widowmine drop. 9 probes. And it's not even done yet. That was just the first 2 Widowmines. He's actually got 2 more. They're going to burrow up as well. And obviously the Hurricane should dodge this time around, but that's 2 more. That's 2 more again. 13 workers. Well, suddenly Maru is back up at 12 worker lead. We just talked about how good it is for Maru to be ahead in workers in the TvP where you've got mules on your side. You kind of want to be up like 8 or 9, you know, you want to be up as a pros player like 8 or 9 SCVs, that situation is reversed and expanded, you know, now for Maru, and he's just gonna be, he'll love that. And maybe in the same vein, he doesn't necessarily need to go crazy here, you know, and I think it's fair to say that a big medevac drop in the main is maybe a bit crazy. It's risky, you know, there was a couple high Templar here. If they went in from a different angle, if the Templar were differently positioned, maybe you get those feedbacks off, maybe these medevacs don't get in. But Maru took the risk. He felt, you know, he saw there wasn't anything in position, and but now he's capitalized on it. He's gotten himself a big shutdown on pylons on the bottom side. You can find this pylon up here that's even more gateways unpowered. In the end, he leaves 2 medevacs still full of units, and he's already rallying down to the bottom right for his next attack. Maru turned a game that was absolutely looking horrendous for him into a game that looks not even just winnable. Like, you know, it looks like he's dominating this game right now. Widow Mines burrow up. The Zealots charge through. Widow Mines blowing up a whole chunk of those Zealots. Archons will continue forward as the Bio continue to trade out. Continue to run up this right-hand side. The Vikings will fall, and just going to see a couple of extra Marines coming in then from Maru. Stalkers, Archons, chasing this army down. Maru with his Bio Force. Setting up once again. Stalker's going to blink. Archon's going to come through as well. I mean, clean up a few medevacs, but that's basically all that's happening at the moment. A little bit of medevac cleanup here and there, and yeah, that for now truly is about it. As Widow Mines going off, Zealots being picked away at, and I see an EMP down onto this Archon. Both these Archons taking quite a lot of damage. SCVs taking some hits as well. 8 workers down. GG from Hurricane. I mean, it was a last-ditched effort, and we kind of knew it was a last-ditched effort when he started to make his way across the map. GG, Maru takes it 2-0, looking freaking good. I mean, that turnaround back over here, that defense in the end was fantastic. Maru 2-0 over Hurricane in the qualifiers.